was a student. She was very pretty and didn't look like an evil person or a rapist.
And she'd go to school and her friends would just be on her, oh, your teacher's a rapist.
When I heard the word rape and what I was thinking that she had done, the word rape didn't come into my mind.
It was the beginning of a sordid saga that shocked a community and a country. Mary Kay Letourneau's sexual relationship with her 6th grade student produced 2 baby girls, made international headlines, and created a media circus.
Does she like the attention? She loves it. Who else do we know that could pick up the phone today and call Oprah Winfrey and get her to take the call?
Gregg Olsen's book, If Loving You Is Wrong, is a portrait of a woman who gave up everything for what she calls love, but what the court calls rape. Incarcerated at the Washington Correction Center for Women, Mary Kay sees herself more as a prisoner of love than a criminal.
I'll tell you, meeting her face to face was a revelation because she was so fragile looking and so tiny, so thin. You couldn't help but feel sorry for her.
How did a beautiful mother of 4 go from a trusted teacher to sexual offender? Olsen believes part of the answer may be in her past, a past that appeared to be perfect.
Her father was a politician, her mother was a TV personality, grew up in Southern California, was the ultimate Southern California girl. You know, Mary says that she had a wonderful upbringing, but the friends that knew her when she was growing up felt that, you know, it was a lot darker than that. There was possible abuse within the family. There was the drowning of her little brother when she was 10 years old.
And while Gregg Olsen was researching his book, he discovered a tragic irony. Mary Kay's father had an affair with a woman who was once his student before working on his campaign.
You know, he was a congressman from Southern California. He had a campaign worker that he was very close to, and it turned out he had an affair with this woman that lasted 8 or 9 years, and the result of the affair were 2 children, a boy and a girl.
While in college, Mary Kay met and then married Steve Letourneau. Although she was pregnant at the time, their life seemed full of promise. They would have 4 children, and eventually, Mary Kay started teaching at Burion's Shorewood Elementary School. But her life was about to change forever when she met a young boy named Billy.
She knew him from 2nd grade. Not that she stalked him or groomed him or went after him for those 4 years or 3 years, but she never forgot him.
You'll never forget him, let's put it that way. He makes an impression on you that will last forever. He was a very good friend.
Katie Hogden was in Mary Kay's 6th grade class with Villy.
She really sheltered him because she knew that he needed to be sheltered, and that's what he needed at the time. He really did need to feel that. And there was a couple other kids in our class that felt that way too. And I always just thought that they had a great friendship.
Mary Kay also formed a friendship with Katie.
Mary called her at night all the time, and inside it kind of bothered me at the time because I thought, she's got 4 little kids of her own at home. How can she be spending hours on the phone every night with my daughter? And to find out she was doing this with other kids too.
Around that time, Mary Kay had a miscarriage and her husband was having an affair. With her life in shambles, Mary Kay looked for someone to fill the void.
He was open to a relationship with her, or to at least a sexual encounter with her. She looked at him, you know, in different eyes too. She was thinking that this kid is special. He's special because he's an artist, because he's creative, because maybe it's because he needed her.
And that need turned into a criminal act.
She says, you know, I resisted it. I didn't want to cross that line. You know, he kept pushing for it. And finally, I gave in to what I knew on one level was wrong, that it was inappropriate on one level, but as a woman, it was right.
Mary Kay's behavior with the 13-year-old became more and more reckless.
Mary would sometimes come and pick him up and take him off for sex somewhere and, you know, park the van somewhere and have sex. Billy has talked about that, you know, where they, had sex on the roof and had sex on the swing, you know, and did all, sex at the movie theater, not at the movie theater, at the drive-in, you know, all those kinds of things, you know, like teenagers in lust.
Steve Letourneau discovered what was going on, and the next bombshell became a family secret.
The Letourneau family, you know, including relatives in Alaska and other parts of the country, all knew that Mary was pregnant by her student.
But a family member broke the silence and reported Mary Kay. She was arrested and charged with child rape. A few months later, she gave birth to Vili's baby. At her sentencing, Mary Kay pleaded for leniency.
Please help me. Help us all.
The judge ordered her into treatment, forbid her to have contact with the boy, and made her serve only 6 months of a 7-year sentence. But she had no intention of abiding by the judge's orders. Mary Kay explained why to Olsen in these words.
People don't understand that when I got out of jail, I knew I was going back to prison because I knew I was going to live my life until I was caught, because I was going back to prison. It was just a matter of time.
Within months of her release, Mary Kay was caught with Vili, back in jail, and making headlines with her second pregnancy.
Mary Letourneau says she always wants to be herself, at the cost of losing everything.
Mary Kay Letourneau spends her days behind bars, locked away from all 6 of her children. She and Vili, who is now 16, still proclaim their love. A love that has made Mary Kay Letourneau a criminal with no remorse and no regret.
Mary Letourneau says that she's found great strength and great happiness from standing up and saying what she thought was right.